So I haven't done a journal flip through in a little while, and I'm currently waiting on some pumpkin cinnamon bread that I just made to cool off. And it was really cool. I made it in my little Dutch oven, and I tied baker's twine around it so that it looks like a pumpkin, and it turned out really great, and it smells amazing in here. And so while I'm waiting to dive into my loaf of bread, I thought I would do a quick journal flip through for you. So I was in this journal from the 31st of August through the 17th of September, and this is just a standard issue military green notebook. And I am rather fond of these notebooks. They actually take, this is gel pen, but they actually take fountain pen ink really well. There's some shadowing and whatnot, but it's never bothered me. I really enjoyed it. So, as per usual, I will flip through the pages and I will show you a little sneak peek of what ink I've used. So I started out with Kayo no Oto number 4 Yamabukiro. And this is a new to me ink. Actually, I watched a video that Alicia did, Adventure Denali, and she said that this was one of her most used inks, and I thought, that's right up my alley, because one of my other favorite inks from Kayo no Oto is Kokiiro. And so I got this, and I really, really like this ink. And when I do my journaling, I usually put like a nice inspirational picture up from Pinterest at the top of my first page. This is just a black Lamy cartridge. Sometimes I like using just regular old black ink as like a palette cleanser. The next ink is Ferris Wheel Press Moonlit Jade. And all these shimmer inks, they're great in theory, but I never get the shimmer. I don't know. The next ink I used is actually just a Chinese yellow ink cartridge. I found this random ink cartridge in a pen set, and I just happened to use it, and I fell in love with that particular yellow ink. And I searched high and low for it. I couldn't find it and stopped looking, and then not that long ago I actually found them on Amazon. Of course, they're shipped from China, but this particular ink I just love it. It may not be legible to many people, but to me, I love writing with it because it's such a happy color, and this particular yellow ink, it's very special to me. And the next color I used was Ferris Wheel Press Algonquin Maple. And I used this in my Hongdian, I can't remember the number, but it's my Hongdian maple pen. And they pair really well together. I very much like them. This right here was a sample of an ink, a Wearingul Path. I put it in a pen that I borrowed from my boss, and I wrote it dry, but it's not an ink I would want for myself. The next ink I used was one of my very favorite inks, which is Ferris Wheel Press Pumpkin Patch. I have been using this ink non-stop since probably since I got it, which is, it's been several months. And I always ink it in my, why did I just blank on the name? Esterbrook, in my Esterbrook Camden Oktoberfest. It is always in there. I just love how orange and happy it is. I had done some baking that day with the girls, and then I did some other stuff. This is one of my very favorite inks, which is Kayo no Oto Kokiiro. And I usually always use this in my Rainforest Esterbrook SD. And I have this picture here because I did a knit along on my YouTube channel of this particular knitted t-shirt called the Cumulus Tee. And that was the day I finished it, and I was very excited. This more Lamy Black, and this is Algonquin Maple again. Moonlit Jade. And if you've seen my flip-throughs before, you know that it's just primarily writing. This right here is Pilot Oroshizuku Yamabudo, which is also one of my very favorite inks. I always use that ink in my Scarlet Esty. Then this was a day at work when all of our Robert Oster inks arrived. And this is a sample or a swatch of whiskey. And I was writing with Twisby Blue Black, which I refer to as my Prussian blue. And I was using a, what was I using? I think I was using my Pilot Decimo. Here I have Lamy Azurite, and I always use that in my Nebulous Plume with its broad nib. And you can see, like on this paper, the broad nib and the Lamy Azurite, the paper holds, the broad nib, the paper holds up well to it. These are very inexpensive notebooks, but they're good quality. I really like them. Here's more Kokiiro. And this is more of Moonlit Jade. I used it in my Cross Botanica in Borneo. I love the writing experience with my Borneo, but I just don't love this ink. It's not my favorite. More Yamabukiro. And I think this was where I finished up the Ritma. I'm not sure. And this was the day that we left for the pen show. There's some things I'm gonna not show. So here's some more Lamy Azurite. And then I switched in my Hongdian to Waringul's Anne of Green Gables. I wrote the Algonquin Maple dry. This was my first acquisition at the pen show, which is the Tailored Pen Company Bee's Knees honeycomb pen. Here's more Kokiiro. And this is Robert Oster Honeybee, and I had to track down this bottle of ink at the pen show just so I could ink it up in my Honeybee pen, because it was like this thing I knew I needed to do it. I just knew that had to be the very first ink I put in my pen, and I ended up not liking it in my pen. Funny. So here we were still at the pen show, and I had found this somewhere, but this was the list of stuff that I needed to take with me, or I needed to pack for the pen show. And this was, I got another pen, and it was the, do I have a picture of it in here? Yeah, I think. I don't know. I got my Divine Pens Plus Rocky Top, and I absolutely love it. And I inked it with Andurilium's Viceroy Butterfly Orange. And this is October the 12th, and I have inked that pen up and continuously re-inked and re-inked that pen since the day I got it, and I can't see myself wanting to put that pen down anytime soon. This is a little sticker that came with my bottle of ink. Here's some more Honeybee. And this was when I got my Esterbrook Petrified Forest with the Journaler nib. And this is Robert Oster's whiskey, which I really like. And it was a sample that I got from work. And I was just kind of talking about how I felt about the nib. Here are some pictures from the pen show. It was me and my boss Jess, and me and Vanessa Langdon, who was super, super nice, very, very funny. My pen show haul. This right here is Jane Campbell's currently inked list. Is that not insane? She is so cool. She's on Instagram. If you're a pen person and you don't follow her, you should. It's jane.campbell, 1L. She is a super, super pen person, and she was so fun to meet, so nice to meet. And then this was Lori from Time with, I always say it wrong. Like, I want to say Tata, but I know that's not it. Or I'm not sure. Lori, I apologize. But this is Lori. She's super, super nice. And there's Brad from the Pen Addict. Super friendly. I was really excited to meet those people. This is more of Ferris Wheel Press Pumpkin Patch. And black. I like to use black every once in a while, kind of like a palette cleanser. Maybe that's weird. Yamabukiro. Anne of Green Gables. Honeybee. Whiskey in my Petrified Forest. There's my picture of my pen from Divine Pens Plus in Viceroy Butterfly. This pen actually looks exactly like the Esterbrook Esty in Rocky Top. Hold on. Okay. So I don't have it all the way. There we go. Tell me that does not look just like Rocky Top from Esterbrook. I almost feel like Braxton got his hands on one of the blanks, because this is diamond cast as well. And I love how much orange it has. I just absolutely adore this pen. Oh, I love it. But anyway, this is not a pen review. This is my journal review and flip through. But anyway, there's that. This is more pumpkin patch, and I had started writing my inks up at the top because I got to the point where some of my inks were getting confusing. Well, except these. Decided that I have a couple of typewriters, and I decided that I'm going to paint one of my typewriters. And this I was talking about maybe asking Braxton for a custom pen, which I'm still thinking about. Maybe some other time though. I'm gonna have to save for it. And I don't know what happened there. Probably coffee. I did a lot of complaining in this journal. And this is more Viceroy Butterfly Orange. But this journal was this was a crutch for me that month. I was not in a good place. This right here is one of my favorite inks as well, Ferris Wheel Press Buttered Popcorn. And I actually wrote Honeybee Dry from my honeycomb pen, and then I refilled it with buttered popcorn, and I have also been writing with it ever since. Refilling it and writing and refilling and writing. There was a lot of feeling very guilty and angry in this journal. This is a sample that I had of Robert Oster Australis Oak, and I think this might be a good match for my Petrified Forest too. Oh, the girls and I, we like to watch Ghibli movies. Ghibli movies make us happy. But I really enjoy writing in these notebooks, these military issue notebooks. The paper is good, the line spacing is good, paper feels good, and it's a good amount of paper. And the outer part of the notebook is just nice and hard wearing. Yeah, this is an ink that I do not have a swatch of. It was a fill, just a fill that I got at work of Wearingeul Wayfarer, and I do not like it. Definitely not my color. So I used it a few times and then I washed it out. I've definitely noticed that since the beginning of September, I have really preferred more autumn colors. And it's funny because these autumn colors that I was using, an autumn colored pen and autumn colored inks, they're the same inks that I have been using ever since. This is a flower that my daughter gave me. Whenever they give me little flowers like that, I always like to put them in my journal. And that was it. I wrote through 177 pages. But this journal was just full of, it was full of great memories from the pen show, but there were also a lot of bad memories from the pen show and just in general the month of September. Just like, these are great memories. But man, it just, crap happens. And at times like that, I'm so thankful for my little nerd journals, because if I didn't have this journal or any journal to write down everything inside me that's going on, I feel like I would explode. I would blow up. I just, even silly things like just putting in different pictures from the movies that, you know, my girls and I watch, and that little pop of color on the page, or just, you know, that was Spirited Away, and having somewhere to put in Make Pumpkin Pie, just having somewhere to dump all of this stuff that goes on in my brain, the frustrations and the anger and the good stuff along with the bad stuff. And just, that's why journaling is so important to me, because without chronicling all the bad stuff and with the good stuff, then I would just, because of the kind of person I am, I would just focus on the bad stuff. So when I look back through my journals, I like to look back and not just look at the bad stuff that I wrote, but also to look at the fun memories that I had and try to see the positive where there was, you know, a lot of negative. And yep, so that is my flip through for that journal. I've been meaning to do this for a little while, but I guess I just kind of got sidetracked with all my knitting stuff. But I hope you enjoyed that little flip through. This isn't a review of this journal though, because I've used it many times before. It is a journal, it's a notebook that I enjoy using. I have 2 left and I'm going to be very sad when I no longer have them. It's a great size. I believe this is like a B6 size. But I'm sure these are easy to pick up on Amazon if you just look for green military issued notebook. If you have a military base near you and you're able to get on, you can also find them in the PX. Or if you know of anyone who's in the military, you could say, hey, I would love one of those notebooks, and I'm sure they'll probably be able to snag you one. thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you letting me sort of talk about my writing and then talk about, you know, the crummy feelings and the better feelings and, you know, the different inks that I used and my pens. And I appreciate having a platform or having somewhere to talk about all those things that, you know, that kind of make everything else not so bad. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you who watch my videos and who leave me such positive comments. You are all wonderful and amazing, and I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you in my next video.